All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the College Football Show. I'm your host, Spinksy, and this week I'm joined by Stephen Vanover from Sports Talkline. Thank you, Van.
Pleasure.
All right, mate, on the show this week, there are a number of big topics that are attacking the college football face as we look at it. The Big Ten, they're holding firm at the moment despite pressure from everywhere. The NCAA, they're allowing kids to have an extra year at school, which is awesome. Schools are returning and the cases are growing every single day. A lowly school has decided they were going to allow tailgating at games, which is just ridiculous. And what's next for college football as we move into the season? But first of all, let's talk about the Big Ten. Now, there is a nice article up on the Sports Talkline website that you should go and have a look at after this show. But at the moment, let's touch on it now. So about 2 weeks ago, the Big Ten came out and said that they are not going to have fall sports this year. Sorry, that they released their schedule first, and then they came out and said they won't have fall sports this year. Since then, Kevin Warren, the commissioner of the Big Ten, has had petitions signed. He's had peaceful protests outside his office. He's received numerous letters and complaints from parents, and numerous rumors are spreading around that Kevin Warren made this decision on his own. Now, for a commissioner to go out and speak for the good of his organisation happens all the time. However, there are now heaps of families and guys who are upset about this. Van, has Kevin made a terrible choice here, and are the Big Ten screwed?
Oh, man. It's a fascinating story because, like you said, from all indications he made a unilateral decision without checking with everybody else, thinking, all right, I'm going to be a leader here. Maybe, I don't know. But regardless, there's some blowback right now. And it's coming from lots of different areas. In no particular order, because I think it's almost like a perfect storm situation. When you're talking about the different leagues and stuff, they're going like, okay, well, wait a minute. In our part of the country, COVID is not a problem. Okay, here in the Midwest, we're doing okay. And that's great. But when you have a football game, people come from all over. They don't come from just right there. So your alumni have graduated. They've spread all over the United States. I mean, we are a migrant society nowadays. So the people that are going to be coming to the game, and this was the thinking of the commissioner, is we have no way to regulate the people coming from other areas into our football game. And, if they're coming from New York or California or Florida, no football fans in those three areas, right? Those are football states. And Texas, of course, is not doing well at all. So I get what they're doing here, but I also get the flip side, man. These college athletes, looking at it, they have a very finite lifespan to their career. And they are at the level where some of them are going to try and turn pro. They're going to try and make money off of it. You can't do that if you don't play.
Yeah, I think the parents that are sort of coming forward now and are sending letters and are protesting outside the offices and stuff are the parents of kids that are sort of on the cusp, not the kids who are going to go for the first round or second round, but kids who are potentially going to be undrafted or drafted or not go at all. And I think for them, they need to have a season to be able to show how good they are. Whereas some guys are so on the cusp that without a season, they could be pumping gas next year. So I think it's bad for them. Yeah.
I hate to break it to them, but a lot of them, that's what they're going to be doing anyhow. Okay.
True. This is true.
Guys, they really need to look at the statistics. Okay. Yeah. When you don't finish that degree, that's what happens, guys. Okay. Taking that basket weave only works if you make it to the NFL.
So I think it was about 8 or 9 days ago. The Big Ten said they were done, and we heard nothing from Kevin for 8 or 9 days. And during that time, speculation was rife. I Ohio State quarterback Justin Fields set up a thing online which has now had over 300,000 signatures of guys saying they
quickly
want
too,
to
right?
play.
I mean, they just
so fast, yeah.
yeah.
And so parents were coming out saying they'll sign a waiver saying they will allow their kids to turn up to games. It looked like Nebraska was going to leave the Big Ten and go somewhere else. Heaps of teams were talking about they were unhappy with this situation, and speculation was rife that things were going to change. Warren came out on Friday and made a statement and said, from everything we've heard, our doctors, our staff, everything, they're making the right choice. However, if I was him, I'd be concerned that the SEC, the ACC, and the Big 12 are still going ahead, and that screws him. That's hard. I think he's made that call hoping that everyone else would fold too. And now he's out there on his own with nothing going on, and everyone else is going to play football. So on Saturdays, everyone gets to sit there and watch every other conference except his, man. Dude, you stuffed up, man. You stuffed up.
I mean, absolutely. When you look at what's going on, you know, the world is not a zero-sum place, but a lot of things are. And I think that football could be played in some form. I like your idea you had where, you know, conference only. That makes a lot of sense. And you could let them play. You could restrict fans to students only. There are things you could do to make it viable, I believe. But I don't see those things. I just see a determination to move forward and play. And I get it because, like, you know, in that division especially, I mean, they're thinking like 2020 was their year, right?
Yeah, the Buckeyes were they're a huge team. They've been good for the last couple of seasons, but I think this could have been their year. And it's been a while since they've won a national championship. So I think they were thinking that this was it. And the only thing that stopped them was COVID, really. But this is with them not going ahead. This opens the door for everyone else. And obviously, I'm an optimist, and I want to see college football happen.
Oh yeah.
Each day, everything sort of changes a bit. So at the moment, the SEC is going ahead, the ACC and the Big 12, and there's a couple of smaller conferences too going ahead, but we'll see how long that lasts. But at the moment, Van, this is turning into a bit of a political thing, isn't it?
Well, you know, here's the thing. Oh, yeah, absolutely, because the president of the United States has determined that college football is something to get behind, and that he's made it part of his re-election platform, is getting college football on. So, I mean, it is what it is. And, you know, I think it could be done safely. I would like to see them play, but just to play because you can, there's a lot of risk. And it's not so much to the players, because the players are in a low-risk group. It's the support staff, et cetera, and you create clusters, and then it seeps out into the community. And guess what? You're killing your parents. You're killing, you know, anybody that has an underlying risk, you know, like me. We talked about before the show, my underlying risk.
Oh, people, yeah.
And so it's a rough, tough thing, man. You know, when you add the political, when you add the economics of it, you know, these guys have spent their whole life culminating to this point, and it's getting snatched right out of them. It's like, you know, being lucky enough to decide you're going to save your life savings and finally spend it and open up a restaurant just as COVID hit, you know? It's not a good thing, man. It's not a good thing. But, I mean, college football is so important to the fabric of America and how it works. But I think it's interesting enough to where these colleges say, oh, it's all safe. It's all safe. Every college out there is having every student athlete that returns to the school sign a waiver that you can't sue me if you get COVID.
Yeah.
But it's totally safe, right? Then why do I have to sign the waiver?
Of course it is, yeah. Look,
so come on, man. Come on.
One good thing that's come out of all of this is the NCAA got together during the week and actually voted to allow kids an extra year of eligibility, even if they turn up this season or if they don't. So if you decide that you want to play this fall, all good. You can still have your extra year, or you can go into the draft. No worries. If you decide you want to sit out,
that's just hilarious when you think about it. We're going to give you an extra year of indentured servitude.
And we're probably going to
You
charge you for it
lucky
too.
animal, you.
Yeah.
Oh, man,
And we're
you're
going to
lucky.
charge you through the roof for it. Yeah. So I
Oh,
think they've
but
actually done something there that's actually a good thing. So it's actually nice to see them try not to
yes, it
screw
is. It is.
everyone, but there's probably some underlying thing where you have to pay an extra 100,000 that year.
Well, isn't
Whatever it is.
2020 the death of the NCAA? Because at this point, everybody sees that the NCAA is toothless.
Yeah.
They show no leadership whatsoever. This is the only positive thing that they've done during this whole fiasco. And the federal government's coming after them.
Actually, that's going to be the title of my article next week. The 2020, the year the NCAA died.
Yeah,
Thanks.
I mean, and it needs to die, and it needs to die a horrible death, okay? The conferences have been the tail wagging the dog for many years now, and I think now it's official, though, don't you?
And with the name, image, and likeness thing coming out, where kids can start actually making money now, I think the NCAA is just there to cash checks, and everyone's starting to realize that. So,
totally. All right. Well, to me, the only big question that we haven't covered about college football reopening is which do you think is going to be the bigger hit, the COVID back ribs or the COVID dog? At the tailgating,
for sure. The COVID dog for sure. And as we talk
that's
about
got a ring to it, doesn't it? Yeah, give me a COVID dog and hey, heavy on the mustard, okay?
Yeah, heavy on the mustard for sure. And as we touch on tailgating there, that was a nice segue. The Florida State Seminoles have decided they will allow tailgating 3 hours before games. Now, I don't know whether
it's outside, right?
It is outside. Apparently, you need to maintain a 6 foot distance, obviously, and they say masks are suggested to be worn. Not must be worn, they are suggested to be worn.
They're going to redo sausages and make them 6 feet long. That way, everybody will know, okay, how long and how far away to be. Just get your 6 foot sausage. And that is the COVID dog. It's 6 foot long.
True. Why can't fathom how you can't have people inside a stadium, but outside is okay? Like technically, do the Seminoles not own the car park? So it's God's car park, and you can do whatever you like in the car park. So that becomes not their fault.
Well, parking is the biggest moneymaker in stadiums. Okay,
everywhere in the world.
The parking is insane, and very often what happens is they'll have some local person that at any big stadium that the public pays for, usually the parking is held by the guy who is making all the money, okay? And yeah, they go, oh, you've got a stadium. Yeah, that nobody can afford to park at, okay?
Exactly,
So yeah, the parking is huge, and that is a venue unto itself. I agree with what you're saying, man. How can you do whatever? And of course, the answer is this. It's what we talked about it on the roundtable the other day. Shameless plug number one. Okay, that the NBA and the NBA player union, the NBA Adam Silver, the players union run by Chris Paul, the player. Okay, and unbelievable guard CP3, right? They are the best relationship in professional sports of those two type entities. I mean, baseball and its union, that's the most dysfunctional. I mean, they can't agree on daytime, nighttime. I mean, no fucking way, all right? When sunset, let's negotiate, okay? NFL's not that far behind, okay? Hockey's just a mess, okay? But the NBA and the NBA Players Association got together with Yale, okay, and they invested in it with Yale and said, look, we don't want you to work on the cure for COVID. What we want is a test that we can give at the gate.
Saliva test.
Okay? And so, yeah, they're giving the saliva test, man, to find out. And it's like, so now they can create an instant bubble at the door. As my understanding, this thing has been given the go-ahead to enter final testing phase, is what I'm understanding. I've not been able to verify that. But basically, you get on there, you lick or spit on this strip. I think you just put it in your mouth and pull it out. And, if the rabbit dies, as the saying goes, then you're in. And so that is the key, is creating what they call micro bubbles. And it's only good for, You test, you pass the test, you're in. Once you're in, you cannot leave without getting retested.
Yeah.
All right. Now that makes it effective. And the fact that those two entities showing that type of leadership, when our own country can't figure out what the freak to do, all they're trying to do is hold the numbers down so that it looks good, whereas, testing is what we need. That's how you control this. When you can go to a restaurant and people can test and everybody in that restaurant is clean, you don't need masks.
It's fine. Yeah.
So it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. That is the answer. But until that is here, oh man, it's risky.
Taking the time. And look, I can't speak for Gail because I've got a doctor on the show next week from Stanford. So at the moment, I'm all about Stanford. So let's not talk about you, Gail.
Let's not talk about doctors. No.
No, yes. And having said that, schools are starting to return and cases are obviously going through the roof.
Yeah.
People are so upset that Alabama's had 20 more cases. LSU's had all these cases. You are stupid if you think that cases weren't going to increase once thousands and thousands of students arrive back at school. That was just, this is idiotic. People are like, oh my God, how can you have football? Are you stupid? And what they're not understanding is schools now gone back. They've been back for a week or two. The cases have gone up and schools have gone, you know what, let's go online. So the schools have now come in, cashed their checks.
Trump actually made that a thing. He was going to withhold money from states if they if they didn't demand that schools come back in person. That was a Trump thing. He wants them back in person. And now that he's done that, boom, like North Carolina, et cetera, so you know what? I think online's a good thing. And then in Arizona, entire school districts, they went and opened, and all of a sudden, all the teachers called in sick. And so they said, you know what? Maybe we'll go online. All of a sudden, the teachers were all well. Yeah. It's amazing how that works.
It's amazing. Schools have gone online. Some schools obviously are still there, but I will see how long that lasts. But a very popular commissioner came out in April from the ACC and said, if there's no school in person, there will be no college football. Mate, you're an idiot. If you think that school is more important than college football, you're a moron. There was no way this is going to happen. School will go online, football will keep going on, and the world will be happy.
And, and people don't, if you want to know how important it is, people go, well, they need the football to make money. No, actually, most football programs lose money.
Lose money, yep.
Yeah, I bet people don't get that. But it's a misnomer because what it does is it helps them keep the alumni intact and those donations.
Exactly right. It keeps that money coming in, baby.
And those come in through the athletic program, a lot of them, okay? Strangely enough, scientists that go on to make a lot of money, they don't donate back to their schools. But football players are going to make money. They do go, or fans. If you played on the football team, you talk about that one game you had where you scored 2 touchdowns, Everybody's seen Al Bundy, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Same type thing. But insofar as schools opening up, whether it be high schools, grade schools, secondary education, et cetera, they're not doing the math, okay? In America, teachers are the most underpaid lot there are. Yeah. Waitresses make more money than freaking teachers.
Over here.
And you're asking them to put their lives on the line?
Yeah.
Nah, they're going to call in sick, dude.
Exactly right. As you should, too. Teachers are very underpaid over here as well. So
I think it's a worldwide thing.
That is, yeah. So NC and NC State have gone to online now. They're out of the ACC, but our most least favourite team, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, who are with the ACC this year, have had a few cases this week. And the Irish shut down their training on Thursday and Friday, hoping to reopen again on Monday. So mate, how is the Fighting Irish doing over there? Are they okay?
Well, when you have Lou Holtz comparing coming back and playing football to storming the beaches at Normandy, oh my goodness! Oh man! I mean, if I'm sitting there, I don't know if I just throw up in my mouth or break out laughing. It's one or the other. If I'm, witnessing this speech of bullshit by someone that doesn't have to pay the price. And this is a guy up there giving a speech telling other people to go carry the load. Well, I just sit back here in total safety. What I want you guys to do is the right thing. Yeah, I want you to go out and take one for the team. Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to, but you should.
And look, I'm being an LSU Tiger fan. Probably my most hated team would be Alabama, but I'd support Alabama over the Fighting Irish, and I just don't know what it is. I can't just.
I'd support the Nazis over the Fighting Irish.
I probably would too. I'd fight for the Nazis.
I'm like, okay, I'm not going to wear the shirt, but I am going to root for them. All right,
we've gone too far now.
It'd be like, Sieg Heil. Definitely. And of course, I always have to give a shout out to Betsy, the West Virginia fan who hates the Irish more than she likes her West Virginia. So it's like, if she had to pick between her team winning and Notre Dame losing, she go, I'll take the Notre Dame loss. That's okay.
Nice. So look, virtually what's next? We've sort of come to a stage now where everything's been in a bit of a hollow this week. Despite the Big Ten sort of arguing amongst themselves and it really going nowhere, everyone else seems to be sort of pushing ahead with their season. Looks like the seasons will start mid to late September. We're probably looking at 3 to 4 weeks before actual football gets on the park, and I'm excited. I really, really, really can't wait for it. So the ACC, the SEC, and the Big 12 are still going ahead with their seasons. But what baffles me is high school football is still going ahead. So you've got a few states like Pennsylvania and Ohio where the NFL can still be on. High school football can still be on, but college football can't. I can't explain that. I know team sizes are larger, but tell me why.
Well, this is America where there's always two sides to every story, which is bullshit. Okay? I mean, it's like breathing. Is there two sides to that story if it's good for you or not? No, there's only one side. You need to freaking breathe. There is not a flip side of the coin. But in America, there is. So, and that is why. You're always supposed to recognize the flip side of the coin. Give it respect. And it's like, why? I mean, stupid is as stupid does. I mean, we need leadership. We need leadership based on science. But in America, where, over 70% of the people in a civilized nation believe in a fictitious being, what do you expect? All right. I mean, it's they're not big on science here in America. They're big on emotion, which, again, that's college sports, right? So that is why that is more important, the college sports, than anything. And, I got to say, do I think it's wise to push something like this in the middle of a pandemic? Listening to Fauci, I'd say no. Do I want to see college sports resume? Oh, yeah, I miss it so bad, man. There's nothing quite like college sports, man. Yeah. Nothing. No, I miss it.
Yeah, the pomp and the ceremony and the bands and stuff like that. And I understand that there's probably not going to be a lot of fans at games, but it's worked over here where they pumped noise into the stadium. So as long as the camera's on the field and the camera doesn't pan back to show the empty stand, it still feels like you're watching a game at a packed house.
They just need to talk to the camera crew that has worked the San Diego Chargers games the last few years, because they're really good at that. They just stay in tight. They don't want to show the stadium or anything like that. No. So they've got it down, man. They've got it down, Yeah, and I think it's hilarious because, professional sports for years is you can't pump noise into the stadium. That's illegal. Now they're like, hey, let's pump it in.
Exactly. Do it. Yeah.
I love the NBA games that they're playing right now in the bubble without the fans. Yeah. It's like watching, if you go to the gym and play ball, if you go to the beach and do pickup games, there's a different atmosphere to it. Like you're more aware of the game.
You are, yes.
All right.
Definitely.
As opposed to the event. When you're watching an event with 50,000 people, it's the event, when you're watching it at the beach or at the gym, you're looking at the moves, you're breaking down the game. I think it's a fascinating way to watch it. It's really a lot of fun for me. I can hardly wait to see something like that without fans. I think it would be fascinating. Yeah. Can you imagine what you'd be able to hear?
Oh, the insight, yeah. The insight's awesome. And I think there's a lot more swearing going on. I think the first few weeks, the cameras don't expect it so much. So there's more of that going on, but there's also, you get so much more of an insight into what's happening, how they think, how they talk, how they interact together, and it's good to see. Yeah.
I'm excited about it for that reason, because again, I'm an analyst. I really like the nuances of the game. I like to break down the X's and O's. That's where my love is. Other people just like the big hits or the asses on the tight ends. Okay. Okay. But enough about my wife watching football. Okay. Everybody's into sports for different reasons, but for the aficionado of analytical sporting, this is a rare opportunity to see a lot of events in a different light without the hype, without the pump. You get to actually watch what's going on in the game, and it's been just fascinating to me.
Yeah, it's really good to see. So I hope college football goes ahead, so we can sort of have that insight into the game that we don't really see much anymore. So it's good.
But my beer consumption has gone up.
It certainly has, man. Yeah.
I mean, you think, you don't go out as much. Hey, Tom Brady beer, right?
Yeah, Tom Brady beer. Go.
I'm drinking Arrogant Bastard here. So, yeah. And by the way, because we have mentioned them on air, both GOAT and Arrogant Bastard have won the right to sponsor the next college football show. Please just get in touch with us, and we'll give you that opportunity. Thank you.
Show. Very good. Thanks for coming on the show this week, mate. Tell the folks where they can find you. Tell them about Sports Talk Line, about the roundtable. What do you got?
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. And thanks, everybody, for watching. We do the college football show here with Spinksy. We do the roundtable every Tuesday, and that's it's all sports. We get all the writers together. Sometimes Spinksy's on whenever we can get him. I mean, he has such a busy schedule.
Very busy every year.
He's a social butterfly, that guy. All right, and then of course we have the Unnamed Sports Show with Joshua Griffith, which is great, man. He's covering hockey. He's covering hockey and sake. Yeah, hockey sake. Just put them together, man.
Merge them together.
And he has great guests on, and et cetera. And then, of course, we have the Saved by the Bell Run, which, like people like yourself, who really like Arsenal. Oh, excuse me, that wasn't you.
Who likes Arsenal? Who likes Arsenal? Jeez, it's a terrible thing.
And this show is great, man. It's four lads. They get together. They really know. Most of them are overseas. One of them is here in the U.S. It's a fantastic show. I think it's a live show that they do. They had over 300 live viewers the other day. The fantastic chemistry. They have a lot going on. They have a new guy coming on, Freddie Kitchens, I think his name is. Hope I got that right. And yeah, they are in the know of what's going on over there. If you want to find inside info on Arsenal, whether you like them or hate them, it would be a good place to go. But I understand that there would be a better soccer team than Arsenal to cover.
Fulham, yes. Fulham will have to start a Fulham podcast once the season starts up again in a couple of weeks. My team, Fulham, left the Championship and have gone back into the Premier League for the first time in about 8-9 years. So we're back. So we're up there to ruffle some feathers. Can't wait.
Yeah, who got sent down when they went up, by the way?
Oh, shit, you put me on the spot. I can't remember.
It doesn't matter. What matters is my guy went up.
Exactly.
We don't care.
Yeah, exactly. Guys, thanks for joining us this week. Hop on the Sports Talk Line website. Have a look at all the articles we've done during the week. This show will be up soon on YouTube. Check it out. Come back and see us at 3 o'clock next Sunday. Thanks. Hooroo.